Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. This was my World Watercolor Month painting for the word dance, and I thought it was so much fun that I wanted to share it with you here for Sketchbook Sunday. And if you'd like a real-time version of this, you can find it up in Critique Club. And I did want to let you know, let all my students know and all my friends here on YouTube that I will be on vacation this week. So I do have videos coming out for you, so you will have some fun crafty goodness to watch and paint along with. But I will probably not be responding to comments because I'm not sure if I'll have Wi-Fi or whatever. So I do want to give you guys a heads up there. I'm not ignoring you if you don't hear from me. It's just that I'm on vacation. I'm probably floating in the middle of a pond somewhere, just chillaxing. I've started off with a watercolor pencil here, and this is Scarlet, so it's a warm or orange leaning red, and I'm getting the basic drawing down. Now there's a lot of interesting angles and foreshortening and shadows, and that's what I really loved about this picture. I mean, look, we can see under her chin. How often do we see somebody from that angle? And I thought it would just be so fun to do in watercolor. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do a limited palette? So what we're going to do actually is opposite colors. So what happens when you look at a color wheel and you see two colors that are across the wheel from each other? If you mix them together, they will turn gray. And if you put them next to each other, they make the other color stand out more and pop and really seem more vibrant. So I'm using an orangey red and I'm using a greenish blue. So those are opposites because green and red are opposites, orange and blue are opposites. So I kind of nudged them so I could get this a little bit more sophisticated than like your typical orange and blue, just to give a little bit more fiery and moody look to it. The brush I'm using is one of the ones that I have coming out from Craft Ammo. Now, I just talked to the brush maker last night, and there's a holdup with the packaging, and they're thinking it's going to be more like August when the sets come out. But I will put the link down in case you want to get on the email list and be notified when they are available. It doesn't oblige you to do anything. It just will send you an email saying, hey, these are ready if you would like to look at them, basically. So here you can see I'm mixing the reddish and bluish color together and getting this kind of like aubergine eggplanty tone. Now I didn't have exactly I kind of like a cad red medium and Prussian blue is what I'd recommend, but I had a red that was a little bit brighter and one that was a little bit more orange. So I mixed them together to get that tone that I wanted. And of course you can play with whatever colors you like. Warm colors tend to come forward or advance. Cool colors tend to push back away. And also cool colors almost read as more shadowy and will give you more of a moody, deeper look. So in my shadows, I'm going to have a little bit more of that Prussian blue. You could also use indigo. Indothrone blue would work really well. Now you could use phthalo blue, but phthalo blue is a little more staining and maybe a little bit more tricky to work with in this respect. That's why if you're doing like skies, I recommend using ultramarine blue or using cerulean blue. Both of those colors are sedimentary, so they sit on top of the paper, which means they're easier to scrub out, and they also have some really pretty texture to them. So that's just a quick tip there. Whenever you're doing something where you might want to go in and scrub or blend or lift, choosing a color that is not staining is going to be really handy. Now, the ones that aren't staining tend to be a little bit duller than, not always, but oftentimes they tend to be a little bit warmer in undertone and duller, but it really does make the process go a little bit more smoothly if you choose colors like that. Prussian blue does stain a little bit, but nowhere near as bad as like a phthalo blue would stain. And if I was to use cerulean blue in this case, it's just not, it's not saturated enough to get those deep darks that I want. So the more you paint, the more you're going to understand the qualities and the personalities of your watercolors, and it's going to help you choose the best colors for the project. And I hate to tell you guys, but it takes practice to figure these things out. Now, you can take some shortcuts. I was just talking with a student about Prussian blue and ultramarine blue in our landscape course over on Teachable the other day. And it's just one of those things that it's second nature. I don't even think about it anymore. And that's why teaching is so awesome, is that it reminds me of oh yeah, that's, you might not even think of choosing this blue over that blue, but or why you choose this blue over that blue. And it's just another one of the reasons why you might choose this one over that one. So, but practice, guys. I mean, that is the best thing you can do, and the best products you can use for your practice are the ones you already have. Yeah, the ones that are in your artist toolbox right now that are sitting on your table, those are the best ones for you to use right now because you have them. If sometimes people will go out and they'll buy a really expensive set of paints and really expensive paper, but it doesn't make them a better painter. You know why? because they're afraid to use them. If you're not afraid to use them, then yeah, they'll absolutely help you. But if they sit on your bookshelf and they never come out to play and they gather dust, now that's the waste of supplies. It's not wasting a supply to make a bad painting. That's not wasting. That's getting experience. You either succeed in a painting or you learn. There is no waste. When you sit down and you put that brush to paper, you are not wasting a thing. There are some ways to conserve. If you're needing practice on your brush strokes, for instance, like let's say you want to do that wild hair, you want to do those brush strokes and make those really swooshy wild bits of hair, but you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that on my paper. What you can do is grab a paper grocery bag and a cup of water and your brush and just dip the brush in the water and start practicing swooshes all over that paper bag. You'll be able to see what your strokes are going to look like. And the best thing is, when the bag dries, it's going to be light again and you can keep on practicing. It's like a poor man's Buddha board. You can just keep practicing and practicing on that brown paper bag. Use it over and over again, practice those brush strokes, and it will teach you, and you haven't wasted a thing. It's just water and your brush, and you're not going to wear out your brush on a paper bag, so it's not that rough. So just keep in mind, it all takes practice. So give yourself a chance to practice and to get good. Now you can see I keep working in that nose area. That nose at that angle was really, really frustrating. I struggled with it. I have scrubbed it out so many times. Like here, now I've got a dark line on the edge of the nose that I don't want. So I'm scrubbing it back. Now, if you look at the reference photo, you'll see that there isn't her face, like the highlights on her face is like the same value as the background. So it's really hard to see what's going on there in her profile. So it's almost like I have to almost make up some of the information, which is kind of it's kind of a bad idea, quite frankly. If you can't really see it, it's probably a good idea not to paint it or just to suggest it, because that will look a little bit better. And I am going in with my pencils, and the paper's damp sometimes, which is generally something I don't recommend. But I did find I had two different brands of pencils here because I have a mishmash in the colored pencil holder next to where I sit. And so I have like a Caran d'Ache Supercolor and a Albrecht Dürer Faber-Castell watercolor pencil. So, I mean, those are really high quality pencils. It's because I have a few open stock ones. They're sitting in there. I didn't need to pull out a whole tin of pencils. So luckily I was able to scrub back, but I mean, that is a little bit of a dangerous game to play, to go in on your paper if it's damp with a watercolor pencil, because it could stain it and you might not be able to lift it out. But I was feeling very bold with this painting. Sometimes I think when I don't have a lot of time to paint and I just kind of jump in, I like those results the best because the expression is more pure. I can't fuss about the details too much. I can't hem and haw too much because I only have a limited amount of time. Another thing I recommend, if you procrastinate, like you're like, oh, I don't know where to start, I don't know what I want to paint, and you're just kind of like hemming and hawing and, not getting anything done, I would recommend taking a piece of copy paper, taking a piece of charcoal, looking around your room and setting your timer on your phone for 30 seconds and draw something you see for 30 seconds. Then reset your timer for another 30 seconds, draw something else, and then maybe go up to 2 minutes and 5 minutes. And by the time you've got to 5 minutes will feel like an eternity, and you're going to be ready to paint. Then you can sit down and work on your real subject. You've already knocked the dust off your brushes. You've already knocked the rust off your hands, and you are ready to get cooking with fire. And that's really what it boils down to. If you want to get better at painting, you got to paint. And if you would like some help at getting better at painting, and you'd like to enjoy over 80 long real-time tutorials of subjects similar to this and other things in mixed media, you might like Critique Club. I will link it down in the video description if you want to check it out. It's $5 a month, and it's a lot of fun, and you get to see what other people are working on. You can upload your own work for critique. Keep in mind, I'm on vacation this week, but I'm generally I critique work within 24 hours of it being posted. And you can also enjoy all of the tutorials I posted in the past, because when you're a member, you have access to it all. There's also like over 36 creative prompts in there. If you're like, I don't know what I want to paint, let me look back and see what one of her creative prompts were and choose one at random. And you can do that too. So it's all about inspiration. It's all about encouraging one another to create and getting better with a little bit of one-on-one feedback. So it's there if you want it. If not, no worries. I'm going to keep posting videos to YouTube because I love this too. And I hope that you enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful week. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.